You came in like a thief, and you stole the crown. Your lies keep piling up, and we watch them weigh you down. The very greed that you stole, they run the whole fucking show. But we are not afraid, and we will not let go. The bigots rise, and you fan the flames. You build an empire of fear and pain. You're in it in with the billionaire scum, selling out this country while you play dumb. Burn it all down. Tear the walls apart. We will not bow. We will not lose heart. We will put an end to the hate. We will put an end to your lies. We will stand side by side, and we will rise. You think these cages are built for the poor and for the weak, for the families torn apart while you laugh and tweet? Look at the puppets dance to the corporate sound, but we are still here, and we will stand our ground! There is blood on your hands! We have seen the truth erased! You put the prophets first! Instead of the people you've displaced. History is watching, and it won't soon forget. It may not be you this time, but you could soon be next. Burn it all down, tear the walls apart. We will not bow, we will not lose heart. We will put an end to the hate. We will put an end to your lies. We will stand side by side, and we will rise! Why? Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Burn it all down! Tear it all apart! Lies on the screen from the deadline machine! Burn it all down! They kill the American dream! Go play an escalator! A tower built on decay! Smiling like a tyrant while the world fades away! Fear and hate is the name of the game! Divide the people and shift all the blame! The truth is dead! You sold them for fame! History won't forget your name! Fake empire! Built on greed! Fascist clown! Watch it bleed! Break the chains! Fight the fire! Dethrone the king! Take it higher! Broken to cases! You've got blood on your hands! Worship the dollar while you ignore our demands! We storm the gates! Our rage is fueled by your lies! We will sit back and watch as your empire crumbles and dies! Fear and hate is the name of your game! Divide the people and shift all the blame! The truth is dead, you sold them for fame! History won't forget! Nay, nay! Fake empire! Built on greed! Fascist clown! Watch it bleed! Break the chains! Fight the fire! Dethrone the king! Take it higher! You build walls! We break them down! You spread flame. We burn this town. You breathe fear. We fight back. Hardcore, counterattack. Fake empire going down. No more kings. Burn the crown. Justice call. Hear the sound. Rise up now and stand your ground. All out. Promises right. Promises right. On a gilded stage, dividing the people, fueling the rage. Walls built high, but compassion's low. Truth buried deep beneath the show. No more lies, no more deceit. We will bow down, we will retreat. Voices loud, we stand as one. The fight's not over, it's just begun. It's just begun. Families torn at the borderline. Justice denied, time after time. Prophets soul on the planet burns. When will we learn? When will we learn? No more lies, no more deceit. We will bow down, we will retreat. Voices loud, we stand as one. The fight's not over, it's just begun. It's just begun. It's just begun. Resist the power and break the chain. Rise above all this hate and this pain. Together we're strong, we won't divide. In our unity we will find our pride. The fight's not over, it's just begun. 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 The fight's not over! Whispers turn to battle cries. The truth is dead, been fed to lies. They sell us lies in the name of peace. What justice rots beneath the leash. They write the laws just to serve the few. We bleed beneath the red, white, and blue. But freedom's fire still burns inside, where truth and treason often collide. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't dismiss. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must feed on the patriots who dare to bleed. The tyrants tremble when freedom rings. We are the roots and we will bring the thunder rolling through the land. With fire in our hearts and blood on our hands. No peace. peace without the will to fight. No dawn without a rebel night. The ballot's a joke and the court's offline. And American justice lags a decade behind. So strike the drum and light the flame. Each beating soul will rise again. The people's wrath is a sacred flood. The soil drinks deep the martyr's blood. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't dismiss. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must feed on the patriots who dare to bleed. The tyrants tremble when freedom rings. We are the roots and we will bring the thunder rolling through the land. With fire in our hearts and blood on our hands. Not for glory, not for gold, but for the stories that were never told. For every voice that they tried to drown, we will plant the flag and hold our ground. So raise your voice and raise your fist. We are the storm that they can't resist. No more kings and no more crowns. We are the ones who will burn it down. The tree of liberty must grow with the blood that only the brave know. And if we should fall, then we fall as one beneath the rising vibrant sun. The tyrants will fall and the people will rise, because freedom never truly dies. Towers in the sky, hoarding wealth while the workers die. Billionaires with blood-stained hands, trampling plots to expand their brand. They say they earned it, they say it's fair, but they only take while we despair. Their pockets are fat and their hearts are cold. Working ourselves to death makes them more bold. But now the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see our lives and we know the deal. You hoard the wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you capitalist whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. The system is rigged, it's all just a game. The rich pull the strings, the poor take the blame. Wealth hoarders live in mansions, the people live in shame. The billionaires don't care, they cash in on our pay. Luxury is a cage that's been built on the backs of the common workers that they keep under attack. But we the people, we've had it rough. Their empire is fragile, we've had enough. And now the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see our lives, and we know the deal. You hoard the wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you only got whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. No more silence, no more living in fear, no more being divided, no more broken man's tears. Don't try to keep us down. You are not our king. In every city and every town, let motherfucking freedom ring. Because the time has come for the people to rise up. We will never bow, we will never kneel. We see your lie and we know the deal. You hoard your wealth, you crush the poor. We're coming for you, you capitalist whore. This land is your land, this land is my land. We will fight side by side and hand in hand. It's better to die standing on your feet than living a lie down on your knees. It's better to die standing on your feet than living a lie down on your knees. We signed up to fight for freedom, not to be the boots on the necks of Americans. You used us, you lied to us, And now we're coming to square the account. Get fucked and die mad about it. Admin Tip 360, bitch! We wear the scars, we bear the pain. We watched our friends die in blood and flame. You said that we fought for liberty, but we came home to fight hypocrisy. You turned a rifle around our peace. You crushed dissent, you unleashed police. You sent us in just to guard your throne. You turned the streets into a combat zone. No one wants to know. Not in this fight, we are the line. Whether it's day or night, no one wants to know. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. You armored up and sent the troops to beat down kids and protest groups, to guard the banks, protect the suits, so that they can't keep us under their boots. You wave the flag like it's a threat, but we remember every single bet that you left to run, alone and discarded, while CEOs got golden parachute pardons. Anyone walks alone, not in this fight, we are the line. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. To every citizen still asleep, wake the fuck up! To my fellow veterans, remember your oath! Our freedom is dying right beneath our eyes! The people in charge tell us nothing but lies. The common people starve while billionaires eat, and we're the ones tossed out in the street. Let's eat the rich, let's make them pay their share. Paying their taxes is a burden they can bear. Make billionaires right again! Not in this fight, we are the line. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. No one walks alone. Not in this fight, we are the line. Whether it's day or night, no one walks alone. This ain't no game. There is only one true, we are the same. No one walks alone. I got something for you. Hang on to your asses. Towers, velvet ropes, behind the mask, a vulture chokes, power suits and dirty hands, wag the dog in desert sands, victims screaming into voids while kings play gods with broken toys, airbrush lies on every screen. What the hell does justice mean? Lock room, VIP, predator in a crowd walking free, blood on the floor, hurt you in chains. How many more gonna scream in vain? You built your throne on broken laws. Now you're scared, you know what you saw. Silence bought with piles of cash. Erase the files, burn the trash. Martial law for damage control. Draft the bar to hide your soul. Wanna light the world on fire just to dodge the light trip wire. History is a loaded gun. Tick, 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 you better run. Lock room, VIP, predator in a crowd walking free. Blood on the floor, hurt you in chains. How many more gonna scream in vain? Your kingdom shakes with every name. You'll kill us all to touch the blade. This ain't conspiracy, it's confession. Hidden in plain sight, full suppression. You laugh while the system bleeds, but the streets remember what you need. Truth, there's a crime. You just spare the time. When the lights come by and your ass is mine. Locked room, VIP. No more secrets, no more gates. Dragged across your marble floor. Truth is kicking down your door. I said I'm young and believe the vow. Stars and stripes, I wear them now. Trained to fight and trained to lead. Wore the flag like it was all I need. I went to war, that was my goal. Buried brothers filling bullet holes. Did what I had to cause that was the cost. I came home proud but broken and lost. The other party used me and threw me away. Now I see through the games they play. They wrapped their lives in red, white, blue, but the blood on my hands was never for you. It was never for you. They said freedom, they said truth, but fed me hate since I was a youth. Republican dreams, conservative pride, just uniforms for the greed they hide. Where were they when the Va.8th failed? When my friends came home and we all derailed? Where were they when we screamed in pain? Too busy chasing power and gain. All the party used me and threw me away. Now I see through the games they play. You bring support to wave your flags while you turn your backs on body bags. Don't turn your back on the fallen. You say that I betrayed you. I bled for this country. What did you ever do? You cheered for war. Then you ran from the wounded. I see who the traitors really are now! I gave my all, you gave me lies. Soldiers die while your empire thrives. Call me woke, call me lost. You never paid the fucking cost. And the party used me and threw me away. But I won't be silent one more day. I fight again, not for your pride, but for every soul you left behind. The party used me and threw me away. But I won't be silent one more day. Justice ain't red, justice ain't blue. It's the truth, and it's coming for you! Marching down the street with your MAGA flag, spitting serpent's lies while you're waving that rag, screaming freedom while you chain the weak. It makes me sick every time you speak. Beneath your cross, beyond your screen, you sold your soul for a fascist dream. Keyboard warrior that don't know pain, a cultist clown whose leader's insane. You are a king, not a constitution. You crave control, not a revolution. But you lick the boots, you're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us, you're a fucking disease. You live in fear, spread life on your knees. Try to own the limbs, but you just don't regret. You fake your fate, now you choke on the dead. The party of law and order, but you storm the hill. You back the blue except when you're out to kill. You wave a gun in your neighbor's face. Fake ass patriot, you're a fucking disgrace. History watch while you took your stand. We saw what you did all across this land. American patriots don't kneel to a king. You're a fucking simp sucking that cinnamon ring. You are a king, not a constitution. You crave control, not a revolution. But but you lick the boots. You're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us. You're a fucking disease. You live in fear. Spend life on your knees, trying to hold the limbs, but you just don't regret. You faked your fate, now you choke on the dead. You traded your hood for a MAGA hat. The mark of the beast, you believe in that? You don't believe the words that you shout. You chant just to drown out the doubt. You were born to lose and you still started this game. The fire is coming and we are the flame. We're gonna tear it down, bury it 6 foot deep, and we'll never forget that you're a sheep. You are a king, not a constitution. You break control, not a revolution. But you lick the boots, you're a rich man's pawn. You say you're free, but your freedom's gone. You're not with us. You're a fucking disease. You live in fear. Spend life on your knees, trying to own the limbs, but you just don't regret. You faked your fate, now you choke on the dead. One, 2, 3, 4, 26, 47. 1, 2. He wraps himself in red, white, blue, and lies. Makes empty oaths and louder bases boast. He stalks the father, civil reason dies, and feeds the walls of anti-loyal hoes. He plays the strong and black as foreign ghosts. The sirens feast and tear freedom for stealth. His throne is built on smoking shit posts. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Lady Liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand and not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. He scores people who bled for law and land, and praises the mob that stormed the sacred floor. A coward's grin, a scepter in his hand. He chooses chaos, shatters every door. His pledges rot the meaning nevermore. He traded the truth of treason, gained renown, and still he begs for power, blood, and war. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Oh, Lady Liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand him, not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. He turns his back while tyrannies grow bold. He whispers secrets where the hawk should warn, and all for what? Some towers fake and gold. A name in bond and scandal loud and worn. No honor here, just falling to be mourned. A fraud and silken jester in a gown. The cost was out, so shame we won't adorn. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Lady Liberty, let truth come down. Expose the rapists who tried to drag you down. Let history brand and not with any renown. He sold us out to buy a gilded crown. Oh, Lady Liberty, we let you down. Oh, Lady Liberty, we let you down. When truth is lost beneath a gilded name, a great parade of patriotic pride, the people's trust becomes a tarnished flame, extinguished where deception dares to strike. This man does not deserve our loyalty, because he thinks that he is royalty. America! Fuck yeah! King Praise in 78, 76, so you can suck Our collective dicks are full of lies, built high on fear and spite. Commands with bluster, rage, and crude disdain. What once was offense wrong to serve the right. A conscience cries in vain beneath the strain. This man does not deserve our loyalty, because he thinks that he is royalty. America! Fuck yeah! King brains in 7876 so you can suck our collective dicks. No kids! The motherfucker must go! No kids! Straight to jail! No kids! Oh, we can show! No kids! Him the gates of hell! He mocks the weak, the weary, and the poor. Yet calls it strength to trample those below. The soul of service, darkened at its core. What seeds he sowed, we're reaping what we sow. This man does not deserve our loyalty, because he thinks that he is royalty. America! Fuck yeah! King brave since 1776 so you can suck our collective dick. And time will move on and truth frequents its stage. No crown can outlast the people's rightful right. And time will move on and truth reclaims its stage. No crown can outlast the people's rightful rage. Baldo people! It rose in the heartland, hard and gray. A tree of iron fed by fear and greed. Its roots split courthouses and cracked the day. Its branches smothered thought and deed. The ringing smile, people kneel. Truth was outlawed, mercy a plea. But one light burned, the world tried to conceal. So light your lamp and dead beneath the tree. Oh, light your lamp, let it shine bright. Oh, light your lamp, let it shine bright. Oh, God, let it shine bright. Lady was tired of silence and decay, of vanishing friends, of things unsaid. So she lit one lamp, the one to obey, and raised her flame where others fled. They called a traitor, they mocked her dead. But windows glowed across the sea, and fear began to bow its head. Now light your lamp and dig beneath the tree. Light your lamp, let it shine bright. Oh, light your lamp, let it shine bright. Dear God, let it shine bright. Then came the reckoning, quiet and slow. Not guns, but truth, not blood, but names. The lies were dragged to the light to show the route that powered the regent's games. People stood tall, they broke their chains. Justice rose from memory. Ash fell soft where pride once reigned. So light your lamp and dig beneath the tree. Oh, light your lamp. Let it shine bright. Oh, light your lamp. Let it shine bright. Please, God, let it shine bright. Please, God, let it shine bright. When power whispers, it must be me. Remember, lady, remember we guard the roots of our liberty. Now light your lamp and dig beneath the tree.
Now it's time for the throw punch!
Good evening.
Holy shit.
So,
what an intro. Hey, boys.
Wakes you up, doesn't it?
I'm gonna say something, and if this offends you, I apologize in advance. So we were in DC together on July the 3rd, and I did my little thing. I got up there, I'm all sweaty and dying, and it's hot as balls. And then a couple other speakers go by, and then our guest Adam gets up on stage. The first words out of my mouth were, "God damn, he's fine as hell." And my wife was sitting right next to me. It's like, I know, right? So
we made it 20 seconds in.
20 seconds in.
That explains why she came up to me after and she was like, "You stay away from him. You stay, he's mine now."
Oh, that tracks.
So Adam Dunigan. For those of you that don't know, I'm Big Sarge / Admin Tim. Joining me is Admin Matt, another one of the admins. And our guest tonight is Adam Dunigan, who is a Marine Corps veteran running for Virginia's 8th district. Adam, how are you?
Oh man, running for office is a nightmare, and it's exactly as bad as everybody says it is. But we seem to be succeeding, so I'll take it.
Excellent.
Right.
One way to start.
Yeah. And I guess, go ahead and tell us about yourself, because I have what's on the website, so I feel like you can do a much better job of it than me.
Sure. Yeah. Background is Marine Corps to start out. I enlisted when I was a kid. I went to CIA after that, and I was a case officer. So I spent a lot of good years of my youth serving the flag, and now I'm watching our government trample it every single day. The general thrust of my campaign here in Virginia's 8th district, which is, if anybody doesn't know, the 8th district is part of the DC suburbs. So it's Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and parts of Fairfax. I can see in my neighborhood right outside my apartment here, I can see the Capitol on a clear day. So I'm right here next to it, and it's pretty difficult to live through these times, watching our government drift further from who we claim to be as not just a government, but like a people. We're fracturing, and I want to fix that.
Excellent.
All right. And what area does Virginia's 8th district encompass? I don't know what's going on with my camera.
No, you're good, man. So yeah, like as I said, it's Arlington. So if you've ever seen like, Saving Private Ryan, the Arlington National Cemetery, like the graves of everybody buried at the National Cemetery, military cemetery. I live personally like right in the same neighborhood as the Iwo Jima statue. So any Marine is going to know that, right? The boys putting up the flag like that. It's also the home of the Pentagon. It's the home of the Central Intelligence Agency, like the headquarters. And it's also the home of about half the federal workforce that lives in the DC area. So you can imagine with all the cuts under Doge and all the reductions in force that these lunatics put in place, my district is hurting. There's a lot of people without jobs. There's a lot of people having to move out of the area because they just can't afford it either. So I'm trying to attack the affordability problem. I'm trying to reinstate and give some dignity back to the people who lost their jobs. There's a story I'll tell eventually, but I'll save you. But essentially, there's a lot of really qualified people that were summarily dismissed from their professions on the word of a 22-year-old off Twitter. And I think until we set the broken bone of incompetence in the American government that is now just being celebrated and fetishized at this point, there's no way forward. And you can't really start walking on a broken bone until you set it. And setting it is going to be consequences for everybody that sold this country out. And that's Democrats and Republicans. I'm not afraid to say that. So my whole bit and my line that I always say, and I really believe it, is everybody who did this to us or who let it happen on their watch, they all got to go. Every single one of them.
Absolutely.
And face consequences. That's my little comment.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of them got to go to jail, but they all got to go regardless.
Definitely. You're going to find everybody here in agreement on that.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. The story I always tell is there's a woman that's associated with my campaign. She's in her late 70s. She's great. She was herself senior service over at USAID, right? Doing American soft power, American foreign aid. Republicans love to villainize foreign aid as charity for the rest of the world, but it's not. And I can tell you that as a former CIA case officer, our soft power abroad has dividends for us that can't really be qualified or quantified in a way that makes sense to somebody who only sees a spreadsheet. And these lunatics, they only see a spreadsheet if they're paying attention, and half of them aren't. And again, that applies sometimes even to Democrats. There's a laxness in the way that we approach governance, and I'm tired of it. And at least in my former professions, between the military and the CIA, when you're not paying attention, people get killed. And people, I can tell you, I've seen firsthand, there's some people that got killed abroad in the spy game that didn't have to go. And it's just because of unqualified leadership.
Yeah, to circle back on your point about soft power, one of the stories I often tell on here is about being in East Africa and seeing the sheer impact that our soft power has had, and then what our withdrawal has made the inroads for China, and to a lesser extent India, but primarily China throughout Africa, and their solid grip in so much of it now. Just wherever we're not going to be willing to be a leader, someone's going to fill that void. It's not a zero sum total here. It's someone else is going to go grab that.
Yeah, and what's sad is as somebody who works, as a Fed for so long, there was fat to be trimmed. There were projects and programs and staffing levels that probably could have been analyzed with a good, a good faith effort on this could have had dividends for the American people. We could have saved a little bit of money, redirected resources, done things that made sense to help people and make sure we have an agile and flexible and lean government. This ain't that. And the fact that, sorry, I didn't even finish. I'm rambling at this point. I didn't even finish the story. The woman that I'm talking about, she's in her 70s. She was senior service. She was herself an orphan in Calcutta, India, surviving on U.S. food assistance back when she was young. And then she became a citizen, and then she worked for USAID. She was dismissed by Big Balls and those other lunatics on nothing. And it was cruel in a way that it didn't have to be, too. And that cruelty infests every single part of the current administration. I'm not going to say Republicans, because I do know that there are some Republicans with conscience out there that are caucusing with Democrats right now. I just had a chat with Adam Kinzinger the other day, for example. There are people out there with some spine that disagree on the role of government and size. And They get nervous about having like, single payer healthcare system. And I don't begrudge them that, as long as they're having a good faith conversation about how to help people. I disagree with them, but we should be able to disagree. That's politics.
Yeah.
The people we currently have in charge are fundamentally unconcerned with the well-being of their fellow citizens or America's place in the world. And we cannot abide that mentality in leadership.
Absolutely. Yeah, I go back to a friend of mine who's in Doctors Without Borders, and he'd talk about being in, all right, now I'm forgetting which African country, and being at the maternity wing for a hospital. And he was telling the names of the kids were all like George Washington or Joe Biden or even Donald Trump. And it's just that there was such a positive view of the United States as a culmination of these programs that people genuinely loved the people that, were sending these care boxes stamped, made in the USA all over them. And it's just wild how we just pissed that into the wind and as quick as we could.
Oh yeah, no, it's that's everywhere too. I spent a lot of time in a lot of different AORs between the two careers, and like, goddamn, man, we have sacrificed so much of the equity that we took generations to build. And was that process like always efficient or the best way to do it? No, it wasn't. And there's a really complicated history behind American foreign policy. I worked for wait, can I swear on this podcast? Do I have to?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Good. Okay, good. So I worked in the CIA, right? And there's a checkered history behind the CIA, especially in South America. But you know what? Like, there's also, in the last 20 to 25 years, despite the war on terror, despite the excesses of American foreign policy previously, there was anyway, a good faith assumption on the part of the Americans. There's a statue of Bill Clinton in downtown Pristina, Kosovo, because at least one point in the past, we were a country that stopped genocide when it started. And we were more interested in expressing the moral values that we were founded on abroad than extracting wealth or causing needless trade wars or bombing schools full of kids in Iran. And, I don't know exactly where we broke, but we broke. And we've been fracturing over and over again through lunatic MAGA bullshit, but also through weak leaders on the left and strategic misses that the Democrats have made over and over and over again. I'm running my guy here, and cut me off if I'm rambling here, but my guy here that I'm running against, the incumbent, Congressman Beyer, he's a good dude, actually. Like, he is about 76. He does have about $200 million in the bank. I find that somewhat of a distrustful profile to see, but I've met the man, I've talked to him, I've checked his voting record, and he's not bad. He's a competent administrator. But this ain't a time, and it hasn't been a time for administrators. It's more a time for operators and people who are going to be a little bit punk rock about how they approach the messaging around the Democratic agenda. And that's going to be part of putting blood back in the veins. We can't really afford to not do that now, because I don't know how many cycles more we have before we really go off that dark cliff towards authoritarianism, neo-fascism, and something much worse.
Absolutely. I say, Raina, I've seen you in the comments there asking the question over and over. I will kick it over to him. I did see the question. We will get answers from him.
Yeah, I saw that. I got a good answer for you, too. I think you're going to like the answer, Rand.
Yeah, she wanted to know what committee you're interested in, first and foremost.
Yeah, I saw the tail end of the question as asked was about SCOTUS and what to do about it. Yes. Fuck yeah, we should impeach judges that took bribes. Absolutely. If we don't have the political will to do that, if we can't get an impeachment over the line, we still have a moral obligation to launch those impeachment votes, to launch the process, to use the mechanisms of government as they were laid out for accountability. Now, if we fail in impeachment, hell yeah, pack the court. We've done it before. FDR wanted to do it back then. It is a mechanism available to us, but you need guts in the Democratic Party to absolutely push that forward. And then I've seen term limits come up a couple of times. If you check my website, I'm voluntarily term limiting. I don't need a law to tell me right or wrong. And just because something's legal doesn't make it right. I'm saying 8 years for myself in the House. And people can criticize that. It is somewhat of throwing a dart, because you can make an argument for 12 years or expanding Senate terms to more match. Like, I don't care. What I'm saying is, like, I, as the first person voluntarily term limiting themselves, I don't know of any other candidates that are doing this right now. As the first person to do it, I want to plant the flag, I want to set an example, and I want to use that example to hit people over the fucking head with it until they start following it. I think the lack of term limits and the idea that you can get into office and as an incumbent just sit there for 40 years, that's killing this country. We don't need a guessing game about when someone's going to come into and leave power. That guessing game alone is causing us to stall out in this country. And the high school pageantry bullshit that comes with campaigning for office, we spend billions of dollars a year on political campaigns while people are literally starving. In my district, we have Fort Belvoir. There are active military service members that are on food stamps because they can't afford it, right? And so I did, like, my campaign, we did pretty good in fundraising too. I raised about 250 grand, which is fucking wild. That's more money than I've ever seen. That still offends me. I hate that I have to do that to even play the game. So yeah. One of my other promises that I'm making, so I have this whole like ethics pledge and I got 4 points on it, right? So self-term limiting, I will be there for no more than 8 years. And then I will also have radical financial transparency. I won't stock trade in office. And I think that's ridiculous that you're even allowed to do it. And then I'm also doing a financial ethics pledge, a wealth pledge. So if I make any outside income, which is not my intent, but it certainly seems to fucking happen when people are in office, right? I will donate half of any outside income that I make back to my district for childcare for working families, veteran services, and free clinics. And that's not a solution to any of the budget problems for these things, but it is a sign of contrition and sacrifice from elected officials to the electorate. And we are overdue for that kind of thing. And
the last part of her question was
Medicare
for all.
Yeah, I also dodged the committee. So the committee that I want the most is going to be Foreign Affairs and the Oversight Committee associated with Foreign Affairs. The war in Iran is morally offensive to me on so many levels. And the guys who bumbled us into the war in Iran, or at least for a big part of it, were Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, two real estate boys that had no business negotiating anything on your behalf and mine as part of the US government. There's a committee right now under Oversight and Foreign Affairs that has the ability to call hearings, like under oath hearings for anybody who served in special appointee status. There are Democrats on that committee. They don't control it, but there are Democrats on it. They haven't even lodged the requests. They haven't even tried and failed. They're not even trying. Yeah. I want to see those boys under oath answer for what they did and why we have so many caskets coming home with American flags draped over them. So yeah, that. And then I'm sorry, what was the next one? I missed it.
She asked about Medicare for all.
Medicare for all, yep, 100%. I don't use the term Medicare for all because I think it's like brand broken at this point because there's a lot of problems with Medicare that people will get wrapped around the axle with. I say universal healthcare or single payer healthcare, and not an option, but a true single payer healthcare system. I've lived abroad in many a country, and there are many a country that are poorer than we are and still somehow figure out how to get people insulin and make sure they don't die when they break a bone. It's a moral failing of the US that we don't have a system like this. And if you do what centrist Democrats want to do and come up with another ACA type public option, what's going to happen is that political pendulum is going to swing back again, and it's going to be vulnerable to the same kind of cuts that they just did to the ACA as part of the big, beautiful bill. And you're going to have hundreds of thousands of families losing coverage, which is what is happening in my district right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Think you'd need if you'd like to challenge the voting results, because I'm pretty convinced, and I'm an engineer, that most of our voting machines are compromised. This is the second time I've gotten this question, and I honestly don't know. I only came into politics about 6 months ago, and I really don't know the mechanisms for like legal challenges to vote tallies. But I don't disagree with the intent of the question. There probably is going to be some shenanigans around the 2026 election because this is their practice run for 2028. And I really do believe that the nihilists and sycophants around Trump are doing a dress rehearsal for what they plan for 2028, especially here in Virginia 8, where I'm running. I got an email from a couple of the Democratic committees that were asking me, because my campaign did pretty good. We collected up a bunch of volunteers. I got like over 100 now. They were asking for about 30 to 40 bodies to go cover polling stations because the federal government is now sending election observers to go intimidate people while they're voting in this state. Yeah. Now, do I think they're going to mess with the voting machines? I don't know. I will have to see what comes out in terms of vote tallies day of, and I hope that it's not concerning. But if it is, and we do want to challenge it, it's going to require time and legal expertise. So I need constitutional lawyers. I need local state attorneys general. I need like an entire army behind this. And I'm already starting to build that. I was just meeting the other day with our state's attorney
or a Commonwealth attorney, sorry. And I'm trying to build some sort of a legal bench for like if challenges need to happen this year. What I think is actually more likely though is they're going to send their goons to come observe and like look at the process, introduce enough ambiguity into it that they can bitch about it for the next 2 years. And when the 2028 presidential comes down, that is when they're going to really pull the trigger on things. So hopefully, if I make it through, if I get this nomination, and there's a good shot that I might now, then I'm going to spend the next 18 months or the first 18 months of my first term in Congress trying to build that bench and trying to ring that alarm bell in the eyes and ears of every single person in this country because they need to hear it.
Yeah, I personally think it's likely to be a person interference with their the secret police sitting at ballot positions or misinformation about where to vote or some other thing to keep people away from being able to vote versus going after the machines themselves because of the way our voting machines are actually structured in a very decentralized manner. It makes compromising a significant number of machines. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would be a significant lift to successfully pull off. But calling in lots of fake bomb threats, having their troops at the things, I can absolutely see that happening again. I'm up in PA where they did manage to shut down a lot of polling places, especially across Dem-leading districts with bomb threats that were called in throughout the election night. So I definitely foresee them doing that again.
Yeah, and I mean, all it takes is just the doubt in someone's mind, right? Like you're going to suppress. They're already just with the fear around ICE. They're already suppressing voter turnout in the Latino community. These are legal citizens of any kind. They're just not going to come out because they don't want to highlight themselves because they have somebody connected to them that might be undocumented, or they work in a space that might have undocumented people and they don't want to draw the attention to the people around them. Like you're about to see a suppression of Democratic Latino voters just by nature of the fear they put in the heart of Americans right now. And that kills me. It's not who we're supposed to be.
Also, if you've read the Human Rights Watch report with the ACLU on the East Mountain camp in Texas, a lot of those people in there are American citizens detained on no charge, held, beaten, subject to absolutely horrific conditions, and then kicked loose when the government felt like it. There's really nothing stopping them from pulling up, tens of thousands of Americans who can legally be there to vote because they're U.S. citizens, and just keep them on ice for a couple months until after the election.
And it's insane too, because these are the same lunatics that were in favor. These are the people that were raised on crazy ass Alex Jones when he still had InfoWars. They like Alex Jones was out there for years being like, oh, the Democrats are coming with, they're going to make FEMA camps and they're going to round up people. It doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not. They're literally doing that and they're clapping for it. It's nuts. There's one story that I think is quite heartbreaking. I put this on our social media. So if you find us on TikTok or Instagram or anything like that, there's a story about an Afghan translator, right? So he worked with U.S. Special Forces overseas for 10 years in Afghanistan. Got his family out before the fall of Kabul, and he was here legally. He was here on asylum legally. ICE came in front of his 5-6 kids and his wife, yanked him out of his house. He had an inhaler for a breathing issue. They did not take his inhaler with him, and he died in their custody. That man was just as much a veteran as any of us, probably more in some cases. And I guarantee you that man loved this country in a profound way that the ICE agents that murdered him can never understand, because what they did to him was exactly what he was fleeing in fucking Afghanistan. It is so fundamentally wrong what we've become. I know I sound like a broken record on this stuff, but like I feel this. I'm not in politics because this is a career move. Like I'm just angry enough to go throw a brick through what they've created. I'm trying to do that. Also, I saw comments in the thing saying that you're loving the new InfoWars. Hell yeah. Tim Heidecker's fucking killing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we've been sharing a little bit of their content on ours as well, just because it's fucking hilarious.
I was a big fan of, there's a podcast out there called Knowledge Fight, or there was anyway. It was these two comedians out of Chicago, and they would break down Alex Jones's episodes, pretty in depth, right? And it was a good litmus test for exactly what was happening in like right-wing kind of fringe alt-right thought. I found that super useful, but really dark. But I think also steeping myself in that kind of aspect of the fringe conspiracy culture, like I find myself making a lot more progress with center right and even some MAGA people that would never ever vote for a Democrat. One, because I look like a Republican, I know that,
Right.
but also because I can speak their language and I know the like tradition of thought from which they come. I think that's a useful weapon in trying to convince people to come back to sanity and morality. I'm trying to do it imperfectly as I am, but it seems to be having some results.
We had another question in from the audience here that as a CIA agent, what's the best way to fight the onslaught of fake information coming from the current administration?
Oh, man. Oh, boys. I don't know. You guys are in the media space. But do you want to give your thoughts on that? Like how you sift good content from bad when you're living in the content space? Because I got my ideas, but it's mostly going to be to just ignore the fucking White House and go to like your trusted news, like anybody willing to answer honestly.
It's hard. Like anytime, the White House puts something out, we have a lot more staff than Tim and I here. So we've got people that will try to sort through things and try to corroborate it. It used to be that if the White House put something out or the Pentagon put out a report, that was pretty much de facto accepted more or less on a factual grounds, not necessarily perhaps some of the narrative details you might question, but usually the facts are right. We had, a plane shot down, 3 service members killed, yada, yada, yada. That, okay, we can kind of trust that. Now we got to go to, NPR, the Associated Press, and verify and check the tweets and whatnot. So did this actually happen, or was this in Dementia Dawn's imagination that this happened today? Did this actually happen? Did Antifa steal a hot air balloon and drop pandas over the coast of Oregon? No? All right. No. Okay. So we can ignore that piece of whatever.
No, I think they did it. I was at Antifa headquarters the other day for our ice cream social that we always have.
We must have just missed each other. They're dropping off donuts.
It's one of those situations where it's like if their lips are moving, they're lying. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah. This is also so. Please, Sarge, go ahead.
I don't trust anything that comes out of the administration, even the ones that are like still kind of clinging to some semblance of reality. I'm just like, you're all compromised. And I hate being that way because I used to make fun of conspiracy theorists. 10 years ago, I was like, oh, you guys believe the stupidest shit. And now I'm in the position where it's like, we sound unhinged when we say you're all lying. But then you can like, Google things, look at what all the different media outlets, even Fox News and places like that, look at what they're saying. And somewhere in there is some actual truth. Somebody's got something, and they all have little pieces of a puzzle. And it might be that they've bent the pieces out of shape, but it's still going to fit in there somewhere. So that's kind of where I am with, figuring out what things are. And if you just look at enough information and find those facts, and you can verify those facts, you can find out what people are saying. And everybody wants to rush to get the scoop. So they're all going to put out the first thing that they find. Like, for example, just an example, everybody wanted to know who the guy was that shot Renee Good. And there were, like a bunch of AI pictures.
Oh, God,
I used AI to unmask him. And I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense. Why don't you just get MS Paint and erase it and like draw a big smiley face on it? That's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I asked Grok who shot Renee Good, and turns out it was Obama. Yeah.
Everybody was putting out like 2 to 3 different wrong names for the guy, and none of them were Jonathan Ross. And then finally we had confirmation. So you also have to keep that in mind, that people are going to report as fast as they can, whatever sounds like it's going to stick, and they'll probably even qualify and be like, well, this is what's being reported now. This is the preliminary information that we have, which is just fancy words for we might be right, probably not. I don't know. Let's find out. And sometimes they get it right, but so everything, even when it's from like sources that you would normally have been tempted to trust 10 years ago. But I guarantee you, whatever the administration is saying, especially if they're saying, oh, the news is lying, then I'm like, okay, well, the news is probably right. So let's see what happens. That was a long
I get
answer. How do you
No,
guys?
no, yeah, no, I get it. I'm the same way. So one thing that I'm hoping to do, it's actually what made me kind of famous initially was I started doing updates on the Iran war, and it's just reading the tea leaves that I could see from open source. And yeah, I got some friends in the Gulf from my previous career, but I'm not like, it's not confidential reporting.
Mhm.
It was more just like cutting through the noise, saying exactly what could be verified that happened, and then providing some analysis of where we go from here, what it means, and maybe the implications for why we got there. And like what was really surprising was I was nobody. I had nothing, no social media, no presence whatsoever before January of this year. And then by March, after the start of the war, and me starting to cover this stuff and speak about it with like an adult authoritative tone of voice, we were almost bigger than the governor of the state online. And that's only because people are just so desperate for something approaching reasoned and accurate summaries of what's going on, because we live in such frenetic times and nobody is speaking to each other. They're just screaming past, or they're looking for that scoop, like you're saying, Sarge. I hate that. And like this, I have to catch myself in this too, because I am trying to win an election. I want to ride a news cycle. I want people to like hear and know who I am. But I've had to pull back like my team a couple of times, like wanting to comment, like the most recent shooting by the cops that went wide from, was it Wisconsin?
Yeah.
When that went wide, my team was like, "Oh, we got to talk about this." And I was like, "No, the fuck we don't, man. We need to see what happened in there, because if there was an overreach, if this was like an unjustified police shooting, like we need to make very sure of that, rather than victimize or make worse a situation that's already probably charged to go a different way." And that's not for the protection of cops; it's for the protection of our integrity as people who say things about the world.
Same thing.
It's not satisfying, but it's true. You need some modicum of restraint. And that's always going to put us a half step behind the nihilists and lunatics who will capitalize very cynically on anything happening. I do like to believe, though, that the American people generally know the difference between the two. They can spot it. Even if it's not everybody, the majority of people are paying attention enough to spot when somebody is just being a cynical, opportunist on these things, and when somebody is actually speaking to them and trying to get a valid point or coverage across. I don't know what the best heuristic for sorting those two groups is, other than, gut, but we got to trust our gut at least occasionally.
AI makes it even tougher. I mean, the footage is getting really hard to tell. Like you look at the beginning of like the Ukraine-Russian war with a lot of fake footage and footage from video games and stuff inserted. Now you look at the footage that's coming out, ostensibly of the Iran war. Like a associate of mine sent me some footage of a building getting hit, and it was, big outrage because it was an apartment building getting hit, ostensibly by the U.S. and blown up. And I'm like, well, I think the first thing that's wrong there is the people in the background are all yelling in English, and at least two of them said, "Oh, Jesus Christ." So I'm going to guess that's not a authentic Islamic video.
No, what are you talking about? Iran is nothing but Protestant white Christians.
Exactly. I mean, unfortunately, little details like that the people who put these things out are still very stupid about. But eventually, they're going to learn, and it's going to be a lot harder to catch these things.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, people are already making mistakes. Like, I saw somebody else making fun of Alex Jones in there. Alex Jones, one of his famous clips when he was like, I've got sources, lieutenant colonels everywhere. He was out there. He was like using footage from like Arma, the video game, saying like, "Oh yeah, this is straight out of Ukraine. I got this from a lieutenant colonel." Like, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
It's like a hellfire lower left corner.
Yeah. And you have to laugh at this or else you cry. I as part of the campaign, I might have mentioned this in some of my conversations. We ran into each other, Sarge, but I've been trying to like put something of a humorous spin on all the darkness, because like you can't not at this point. And I'm hoping that like some of this, the lighthearted, like poking fun even at this administration is itself somewhat of a protest, like making them seem silly could theoretically, I hope, delegitimize them in the eyes of people that are still hanging in there as supporters. And like, I don't, again, know the secret formula for cutting through the amygdala on that one, but I think you can. I was just, I was never a public speaker before I did this. And so I've been doing like open mic stand-ups under a different name just to like rip the Band-Aid off and like get in front of people and bomb. And it turns out like shit is just really funny right now. There's a lot of ridiculous stuff going on. So I don't know. I'm not saying like joy is the resistance, but it's not the resistance either.
I mean, escapism is always strongest in the darkest of times. So it just tracks.
And they hate being laughed at. Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes,
yeah.
they do. Yes, they do.
I've got if anybody goes and looks up our Instagram specifically, I've got that on my phone and I check it occasionally. I'm not like a big social media guy, but I do check it, and I will get into comments on like the bigger videos that we have out there and just start trolling people. Our Iran coverage, right? Like, you know, a bunch of right wingers will come in there and be like, "You should support the troops no matter what. They're defending your freedom." And I was like, where was the freedom? I didn't see it in the girls' school. Which room was the freedom in? Like,
Yeah, we see a fair amount of that. So a lot of really strongly held and poorly defined opinions that come make our way into some comments, especially some of Big Sarge's better videos and rants and such. It's just like
Big Sarge, what's your most unhinged? You got anything in the chamber? Like, give me an example of the kind of crazy shit you get.
Like the comments that I get?
Comments, just like unhinged stuff that they throw at you.
What was that good last Famouser one? That
Famouser?
Yeah, the Famouser.
Oh God, I would have to look that up. Which it's easy to look up because it's like a hashtag.
Yeah, every now and then he'll put a spotlight
I'm probably
on
the only one that uses it.
anything spectacularly stupid and unhinged.
So
what was the guy mad about this last time?
It's a combination of things. There's like people that are basically just threatening us with violence.
Always entertaining.
All right, here we go. I found one. Okay.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna share this. This is wild. Hold on. All right.
What's the D&D question?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh boy.
Let's see if I can increase the size of that. There we go. Okay, so this dude
God
was just straight up all caps.
And you know when it comes in all caps that they've definitely thought this through, and this is going to be
you can't hear it if they're not yelling.
Yeah. This is going to be a very well shaped argument.
And it's tough to like know which ones are the bots and which ones are the real people because we're in the uncanny valley.
Well, it used to be we really could get them with the disregard all previous instructions bit that actually would work on the bots, you know, and write me a soliloquy about salami.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we'd get a response immediately about fucking salami or other deli meats and such. And, all right, found the bots.
Here, let's do a dramatic reading of this. Here, I'll do this for you, Ben. Fuck you, pig boy, sons of liberty, asshole. If you believe Democrats don't cheat to steal elections, you are a fucking piece of shit, brainwashed douchebag. Just look what just happened in the California mayor race. Gee, okay. They were losing, and overnight, thousands of mail-in ballots appeared for their choice candidates. The same thing happened in all the blue states in the 2020 election. You just refuse facts. Facts cannot be disputed by your bullshit fairy tales. They were fair elections. Fuck you for defending fraud.
I like that it became Bane kind of halfway through.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I was born in the fraud.
I like that you instantly, like, somehow telepathically knew that I'm a fan of dramatic readings.
This is pretty good, man. That's a pretty good comment, dude.
It's every day. It's something. It's always so unhinged. It's so angry. So I posted the last Iran update that we did when the war went hot last week. You know, I did a two-parter, right? So here's the facts, and then here's my analysis. So part 2 is the analysis, a different video. But so in the facts, I was like, this was instigated when Iran shot up some ships that was transiting. We decided to attack their thing. So like, just factual, right? Like, not instigated the war. That's on us. But like, you know, and so there was like all these people being like, you Israel shill, you fucking Zionist, how dare you, blah, 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 blah. And then I don't think they realized, or maybe it was just bots or whatever, but in the second
part of the analysis. Like, I'm pretty goddamn critical of the U.S. administration. So the same accounts are like, Adam for president, I'll vote for him any day. Like,
yeah. I have literally been called a Zionist genocider and an anti-Semite for the same fucking post.
It's a political Rorschach test, man. It doesn't matter. There's no rules anymore.
I'm the alpha and the omega. I am all the things at all times somehow.
No, this is I get that stuff all the time. I think just because the haircut, because I look so much like a right winger, people will say like, you know, I'm out there saying like, I'm not taking money from AIPAC. I'm not taking any corporate PAC money at all. Mm-hmm. And yes, obviously the IDF is out of fucking control and they have committed acts of genocide in Gaza, and we should stop the violence in Gaza. I don't care where you come down on the issue. Women and children should probably stop getting killed, right? Yeah. Everybody. And I will get these comments, even though like I'm literally in favor of their position. I think the further left you get on the spectrum, they're just like, oh man, just listen to this guy. You know he takes money from data centers and AIPAC. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have any money at all. I am so broke right now. I wish they would knock on my door, man. And you better believe if AIPAC came to me and said, hey, we're going to give you like a lot of secret money, I would just take that money and send it straight to a fucking Palestinian relief organization. 100%, man. I'm so tired. I have noticed this. This is like something interesting political that I think maybe you guys might have an opinion on too. On the right, the further right you go, you start finding this really false sense of patriotism, right? It's like a facsimile of what patriotism should be. They wrap themselves in the flag, and it has nothing to do with like the values behind that flag. They just like all the pretty colors and shapes. Mm-hmm. And then on the left, the further left you go, like once you get into like the super far online tanky left, you get this really concerning anti-American vein where like anything America does is bad. And I understand the philosophical tradition from which that comes. And again, the history behind our country is not linear, and I get that. But I do get really uncomfortable with that first impulse as just assuming the worst about the country that you yourself live in and should have a vested interest in seeing succeed. And if it's not acting the way that you want it to do, like, I encourage you to go find somebody that represents the politics that you believe in. And if you can't find that person, like, go change politics, like do what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're talking to the tankies, they're going to be particularly prickly about all things capitalist America and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, there's also just some spine that needs to go with that too. Like when Kat Abu-Ghazaleh lost in Illinois, right? Like that was, people were really believing in her. They wanted to see her succeed, and I don't begrudge them that. But, you know, she lost that in these group chats with like other political candidates from different races, different states. And everybody was losing their goddamn mind. It was like, oh, if Kat lost, you know, what's the point of even going on? She was the best of us. I'm like, well, I mean, like, you should probably believe in your values enough to keep going and not like just fold once something doesn't go your way in politics. Yeah. Maybe that's why Democrats are out of power.
Kat would be the first person to tell you to keep going.
100%.
Absolutely behind it. It's like, what do you think she'd want, guys? Come on.
Yeah. So it's just and I
a ton of money against her too. That was
and this is the real concern. So like when people are like, you know, AIPAC or special interests or dark money, super PACs, all that stuff, like, yeah, you should be angry about that. But if you just paint every single person that like on knee-jerk first impression you don't like or agree with that brush and accuse them of it, it becomes like the boy who cried wolf kind of scenario where you dilute the efficacy of the language you're using to make valid criticism by making that criticism about everybody. And I don't know exactly how to get that into people's heads, but I'm trying to.
Well, it's the problem is that any thought more complicated than a bumper sticker is tough for a mass sell.
yeah, I guess that would be a long sticker.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk to people, have intelligent conversations, and sway people with good logic and debate in the one-to-one setting, maybe even the one-to-a-few setting. But as soon as your audience grows, the ability to convey the complex and have it received positively, it just stops. And that is not unique to our side. That's not unique to politics. That is the human ability to group absorb information that they don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, 100%.
At some point, you just reach a critical mass where, you know, there's too many people here to listen to you. They're not going to. You've got to come at them one at a time, or it's not going to work at all.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta peel from herd, have the true dialectic, and then go back to herd and peel another one. Yeah, and that's the work that I think a lot of centrist Dems. I saw a question in the chat. A lot of centrist Dems just aren't doing the work, and I think that's, if the question is like, why shouldn't you expect the worst? Like, you should if we stay with centrist Dems. This is why the progressives are having a resurgence right now. That's why DSA is having a resurgence, is because like everybody is ready for somebody with a spine and somebody with ideas that are paradigmatically different enough from where we are right now as a country to propel us forward into something new, that has the potential for upshot, because sticking with the status quo is just going to drive us into a dumpster.
Look where it's gotten us.
That's why we continue to try to bring out as many voices as we can with the live streams that we're doing.
Yeah, I see the
Not gonna lie, though,
system of a down quote there in the comments as well. I see you, Azure Jester.
Yeah, we got a lot of music people, which I wanted to kind of ask you a couple of personal questions. The first one being, do you play D&D?
Oh, I may have dabbled in some third edition. I don't know, maybe a little bit. I do. I maybe have a D20 in my backpack right now that I use for ice-breaking games with my volunteers for the campaign.
Okay. All right.
This guy. Definitely this guy.
Let's just add him to the list of. So we're gonna try to like figure out a politician / candidate D&D game.
I'm in, man. I'm in. Send it. I'm definitely like a chaotic neutral kind of politician. I will do what is necessary and what I feel in my heart, and sometimes that's going to be very harmful to other people rhetorically anyway. I always say, man, like it was either run for office or become an active shooter. So everybody should be very grateful that I ran for office, man.
See, there you go. Being positive, building towards community. We love to see it. That's the other thing. Don't need more posts.
Yeah, my next
You'll definitely
question.
fit in well with a Big Sarge's D&D campaigns. They tend to cater to that kind of thinking.
Oh, I'm so down. I'm so down.
Who did we
My
throw
next
off the
question
roof
for
last
you.
time?
I don't know. I think it was one of the small people.
We used it as a grappling hook.
Yeah, they're like, who's got 18 strength? Oh, I do.
It was
All right.
me.
Hell yeah.
Tied a rope around him and threw him across the gap.
I read
fun.
something that you grew up in the LA punk scene.
Oh yeah.
The guitarist back there in the
Yeah.
blurred background.
No, that wasn't intentional, but yes, yeah. I used to play guitar back in the day. I played in a bunch of shitty punk rock bands that, luckily, this was before real internet, and nobody will ever have to listen to them. So actually, this is real funny. So if anybody's a fan of Lamb of God, I was always as a youth. Yes. So Randy Blythe, the singer of Lamb of God, is, because of this campaign, now just a personal friend. So he actually came up here to DC and he stayed with me for 3 days, and he was over the shoulder with the campaign, writing an article that he just submitted to Rolling Stone about the campaign and my candidacy and all this shit. Because he thinks it's cool that there's like a punk rocker dude running for office. And then while he was here, my dumb fanboy ass had to really keep it together. But like the last day, like once we had enough time together, I was like, Randy, do you wanna like listen to my demo from when I was a kid? And I played it for him, and he was like, bro, this sucks, man. Don't show this to people. It hurt my feelings so bad.
That's hilarious.
You got to shoot the shot, right?
That guy's legit. Like I've heard from a lot of musicians that say he's like probably one of the nicest guys in rock music.
Yeah,
and
no, he's dope.
That dude got thrown in prison in Poland because Satanism or something, and then got out and like was like, hey man, let's hit the studio. I got like 13 songs that I wrote in prison, and one of those is like the best song I've ever heard. I don't even know the name of it, but it's like the one where he's like, my hands are painted red. Oh.
Yeah, no. So the story behind that, I didn't know this until I got to know him pretty good. But the story behind that is he was in, I think, it's Czech Republic maybe, but yeah, he was in Eastern Europe. They had a show. This kid rushed the stage, And then, you know, they were like, get off me. And the kid fell off and he died. So the authorities charged him with the murder. So he was in the US when that happened, or at least he had left the country when they charged him. And he chose to go back and stand trial for it because to him, it was more important to like show that he was there to be judged and wanted to submit himself to the process because the process was important for his own, you know, like moral contrition for the issue, because it really fucked him up. He wrote a book about it, and I encourage everybody to go check out his book. It was pretty powerful, and I think it also it has themes of the kind of politics that everybody wants to see right now. You know, somebody like a moral man standing his ground, even when it's inconvenient to do so. And I think, and he said as much when he was here, the reason that he liked my candidacy and a couple other ones that he was talking about was because that we need that mentality everywhere in society, but especially in the people who make the calls that, you know, affect the lives of millions of people.
Yeah.
So this dude like spent the night at your house?
Yeah, he stayed here for 3 days. He's fucking cool. We're friends now. It's awesome.
So
I also,
badass.
I'm just going to be a dork about this. So like I told you, I never had social media, and then we got kind of famous for the campaign, but I am just like a music nerd at heart. And Protest the Hero just came out with their new album. And so I was like, I'm going to message him. So I messaged him on Instagram. I was like, Rody, the singer. I was like, hey bro, like super good album. Like I'm running for office down here. And I like used a quote from you for the campaign. He's like, we don't trust American politicians. Don't contact me. No, he was actually very nice about it, but it was a funny conversation. Well, like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know what to do. I can't politic like 24 hours a day. And now I got this big Instagram following. I'm going to go talk to my heroes, man. Fuck it.
Yeah. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Absolutely.
I've actually tried it with Sons of Liberty, and it doesn't work. They're like, what?
We're just not big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been funny. So when I'll talk about like maybe the online fame aspect of this. I'm deeply uncomfortable with it. Like I get recognized on the street occasionally now and don't love that. Not because it's bad. I really like when people know and support the campaign, but it's just, I'm not used to it, man. In my old job, if you're in the fucking CIA and somebody recognizes you, you've done something very wrong. So it took a while to get around it. But I will also say, when we blew up, a lot of the political people around the campaign, they got scared of their own shadow. It's like they were enemies of their own success. You know, they wanted to tone down the way that I talk. They wanted to like dress me a little bit differently. They wanted to completely change up to something more traditional, more centrist, at least centrist coded. And I said, absolutely not. Like, just because the tightrope's a little bit higher, like we're not backing down from anything from the early days of the campaign. You know, they wanted me to repeal my voluntary term limits. They wanted me to like walk back on some of like the ethics pledge parts that I did, because like, oh, well, like now you might win and we really got to think about it. I was like, well, no, man, that's the whole reason that we did this. Like, it was
fun when they thought there was no chance.
Exactly. They're like,
sure, you know,
no, that like dumb naive stuff that you said before like sounded great, but now we might actually be able to make money in Congress. Like, well, no, man. Like, you can imagine that it's. I'm sure you see this in the creator space as well. You know, as soon as people get big, then they start moderating towards this nothing or this very centrist, moderate, weak persona. Yeah, and I don't know exactly how to reassure people that I'm still going to be just a guy if I get elected, but I do intend to retain this authenticity, right? Like I don't do this as a character to get elected. Like this is just who I actually am day to day. And that's all I wanted to see in politics, was somebody who is going to be and speak be a real person and speak in a way that made sense to me as a fellow citizen, you know, not above me, not below me, nothing else, but like fellow citizens of the Republic, trying our best for the betterment of the betterment of lot of their fellow man.
Ooh, it's a good one. Any thoughts on Major Watson?
I'm legend, right? Like somebody going out there and putting it all on the line. Yeah, 100%.
For the audience who are unfamiliar, this was the gentleman who protested in uniform at the Lincoln Memorial, if I'm not mistaken, and was arrested for doing so.
Yep. Yeah. He put it all on the line, right? So like I resigned from CIA to do this. I was 3 years shy of a pension, and people called me stupid, naive, whatever, right? that man was still active duty military. He had so much on the line, and he went out there and violated the UCMJ to do what was right and say the truth. And I really, really respect somebody who has like that much backbone, that much spine to get out there and put their career on the line, their freedom on the line, and spit in the eyes of the people who are destroying this country. Hell yeah, everybody should be supporting him. And I know there's a legal fund too. I kick some money at it. So I think everybody should. That is a model that I would want emulated and replicated to everybody. So,
question: what do you have done again that Bruner does not for District 8?
Oh, are you talking about my girl Lorena Bruner? For anybody who's not tracking this, Lorena Bruner is one of the other challengers in my race. She is a lovely woman. We know each other. We chat occasionally. I would say one thing I have that she doesn't is an address in the 8th district. She doesn't live here. And nor does she have any government experience outside of being married to a military officer. And I don't think it should be a requirement to have been in government. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but for this district, which is so many federal families and military families and intelligence community families, like that's me. I have all of the experience that I think gives me the perspective and state of mind that people in her category probably would struggle to catch up on.
Fair enough. It's a good answer.
It's a mic drop. That's what that is.
So while we're on our subjects and policy, hope we can dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, I got about 10 more minutes, boys, just so you know. Yeah.
Well, we'll try to make them count then. So on the policies around AI and data centers, where do you see yourself as the thrust of your positions, and how you want the government to step into this space?
Yeah, so I've been saying on the AI issue generally, a nonpartisan, non-political regulatory body has to happen, right? Mass communication was developed in the early 20th century, and we got the FCC to put some regulations down, make sure that the space developed, make sure that they didn't smother innovation, but that innovation wasn't just Wild West kind of cowboy stuff. We need something like that for AI because it is, an order of magnitude more complicated and more immediate in the way that it's going to affect people's lives. Data centers, the AI companies need to pay their fair share, just like billionaires, trillionaires now. The idea that Virginia here, we're giving away about $1.82 billion in tax incentives to companies for building data centers. And that is untenable. With that kind of money, you could fix affordable housing. With that kind of money, you could fix free childcare. With that kind of money, you could actually improve people's lives. And the data centers that they're building are not being employed to the betterment of people's lives. And that's an inversion morally of what we're having. There's in my district here, I was just filming this the other day. There's a woman on my campaign. She's awesome. Her name's Lauren. She is starting her own gym. She's an Olympic weightlifter. She's like super intense. And it's really cool that she's starting her own gym. Excuse me. But she has to start her own gym because her previous gym was shut down when private equity bought out the land that her gym was on. And they're now putting a data center and a power station on that land. Where they used to have a gym and a church and a bunch of small businesses, they're now going to have this ghost town of machines. And I think there's a visual metaphor in there that kind of describes where society is headed without regulatory restrictions. And so I'm all in favor of creating the independent regulatory body, making AI companies pay their fair share in every regard. I actually really kind of like the sovereign wealth fund idea that Bernie and Warren have put out. And then also, when it comes to accountability, I want a human to be accountable for every decision that a company makes. I do not want algorithmically determined health insurance denials or military decisions to go unaccounted for because an AI system made it. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened in Iran when that AI targeting package wiped those girls in that school off the face of the earth. Nobody is going to be held accountable for that because it's technically nobody's fault. It was a system that did it and they hit the button. We need to make sure that there's a human finger on every single button when it comes to life and death or people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
If we can hold parents accountable for their kids getting into the gun safes, why can't we hold these AI programmers responsible when their AI decides, let's bomb this school with 150 girls in it?
Yep. Yeah, and the answer to that is easy. It's just money, right? These companies have money, so they can put up walls against their own accountability. And until you have an entire legislature that swears off the bad finance practices and the immoral finance architecture of the U.S. government, like I'm trying to do, we are going to continue to cede ground to profit over people's lives. And I don't think that's tenable for the long haul. I think we can fix it, but we have to choose to do so. And that's going to start with probably electing guys and gals that sound like me.
I'm all for it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Now, as I try to pivot off of that subject onto another, I wanted to circle back on the healthcare, since we talked about healthcare for all, getting that option in. But one of the other issues that we're seeing, and I'm not sure how much this affects the 8th district specifically, but there's a real brain drain away from rural counties as the healthcare options have started to dry up, facilities close down. The people who were working in those facilities are moving into areas where they can find work. And the result is that our rural communities are more and more underserved by the healthcare system.
Yep.
What are some of the ways that we can combat this that you would support in Congress?
So I was always depressed with the death of Bernie's student loan forgiveness initiative. You know, we got pretty close and then they yanked it away. I think you can revive that idea and serve these communities in a way that builds community with them. I'm advocating for the same sort of federal student loan forgiveness options, like the 10-year federal service forgiveness timelines for people that don't know. For a lot of degrees and a lot of educational pipelines, if you serve 10 years in the government and make your loan payments over those 10 years, they will forgive your remaining balance after that, which is pretty cool. So we should shorten those pipelines and we should make applicable so many more career fields. Healthcare, for example, right? A universal healthcare would create jobs in these areas to have qualified people from all over the country go to rural areas if we incentivize it with faster timelines for student loan forgiveness. You know, it's not a radical, I still think that we should probably have free university and free college generally, but like if we can't get there immediately, there's ways to incentivize and tweak the systems that we already have that make sure students in these fields have options and make sure that communities who need qualified healthcare professionals specifically go to those communities, you know, and we'll probably have to play with the numbers depending on demand and what that looks like. But I would like to start having that conversation fucking yesterday. Nobody's doing anything. And now you're watching rural hospitals dry up because of lack of funding. You're watching people go without care. And when you go without care, when you finally stagger across the threshold of emergency room, your financial life is going to be ruined, or your life might be taken from you from something that could have been caught a lot earlier. I think universal healthcare is the way to go, and faster student loan forgiveness timelines and allowing healthcare professions to be within those timelines and incentivizing placement in rural communities, that is the best chance we get.
My neighbor, her oldest daughter has finished medical school and has done her first year of residency. And one of the problems that she is running into is that while there is just categorically a nursing shortage for doctors, there's been a real concentration around a few major medical healthcare systems as the drain from the other counties has happened. And the result is that doctors are having trouble finding jobs, especially newer doctors right out of school within the healthcare field, at least at the better practices. And it's creating a shortage of jobs in that space, which is kind of wild given how much of a shortfall we have in the nursing side. So I do think there's a lot of benefit to what you're talking about with the incentivized loan forgiveness for those who are working in those fields or towards areas with need. That could be tremendously helpful.
Well, and reaccrediting nursing programs, allied healthcare in general, as eligible for federal student aid, like that's also something we can do tomorrow if we have the political will for it. You know, it wouldn't require a massive overhaul. You know, this is what pisses me off is there's so many options that we have. None of them are going to be a panacea, right? Or panacea. Like there's never one solution that's going to fix everything. But there's so many iterative steps that we can take to get to something better for the people who need it right now. We're just not taking it because Democrats love to have these grand solutions that we talk about for 24-month timelines and then hollow out to be basically ineffective by the time they get there, right? The ACA was great. It was a step in the right direction, but it was a first step that required a second, third, and fourth. But we are this fire and forget political culture where once we get a victory over the line, one, that's permanent. We never go back to it. We never revisit. We never go see if it's working or not. We just leave it as is, or we leave it until lunatics get back in the White House and they gut it. And we leave everybody vulnerable when we don't put our thumb on the scale for the people who need it. I don't know. Like I said, I always say, like, I don't know the grand solution to any of this. I see lots of opportunity though, and I think you need somebody with fresh eyes that hasn't been, indoctrinated by the way that Congress thinks, to go in and take a look at these things and sometimes raise your hand and say, hey, this is really stupid. We shouldn't do it this way. And I think that's all the American people want right now. There's a gut feeling that we are missing a lot of shots. And I think that's still true. Even under a Republican president, even if it's Trump, I still think there's ways that we can make progress in so many of these things. One thing that I said the other day was energy, right? The Republicans have been fetishists for oil for so long, this dependence on petrochemical. Right now, you can, if you were willing to think creatively and Tom Sawyer these guys a little bit, we can get them to paint the fence. We can say like, hey, look, $7 a gallon and these Iranians are controlling oil. We don't even need that oil. Come on, Republicans, let's do wind, solar, green, nuclear. Like, we have an opportunity right now where, like, if we just kind of judo throw them, right, use their own momentum against them, we could probably make progress to help people. Like, let them slap their brand on it. People are gonna know, if we do it right, who the adults in the room are that actually brought them results, and that's what I want to do in Congress.
Iterative victories. That's what we've been saying on this show for a good couple months.
I wanted to ask you about how you feel about impeachment, because I remember your speech from July 3rd, but I wanted to kind of, the people here that didn't watch our live stream of that event, I wanted to get you to kind of talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, yes, impeach. Yeah, impeach 100%. The big complaint right now, or what Democrats will tell you in Congress, is that they can't impeach because they don't have the votes. It's a waste of time. Bleh. Republicans tried to impeach Biden 43 times, or Obama 43 times. So they tried and failed. Yeah. They were like the Visigoths outside Rome, just ramming the gate over and over and over again. And what they did is they moved the Overton window so that when they got power, they had these parallel institutions like Project 2025, and they had already seeded the narrative about this. So when they did their lunatic shit, nobody was surprised by it. It was just policy at that point. And I'm not saying Democrats got to be Republicans or copy their playbook one for one, but I am saying that there is value, moral and narrative value, in trying. And when the voters, all of us, everybody in this chat right now, we're just citizens, taxpayers, and voters. When we see our legislators even trying, sometimes the noble sacrifice is failure. And I'd like to see them try and fail than not try at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The counterpoint that I thought had some value to it, we had a Kenan on, I think it was earlier this week, who said that he'd be for impeaching of cabinet officials, but he didn't think there was a shot of getting Trump. And he said he'd like to see that time spent trying to get bills that he thought we could get through the Senate in that time. And I thought, okay, I can kind of see that. But on the other hand, it's like, I kind of want to see Trump crash out when he gets impeached for a third time too. So
just put points on the fucking board, man. Yeah. So I understand where that impulse comes from, but I don't agree with it, because that is the same driving impulse that led Merrick Garland to not charging when he had the opportunity, right? So maybe we can get like a silver medal here. Absolutely not. Nope. If you break the law, you are held accountable. That is the way this country is supposed to work. We have mechanisms that were written down in our Constitution specifically for situations like this. We need to employ them, and we cannot let people slide just because it's inconvenient. I am tired of being told that our government can't walk and chew gum at the same time. They need to hold everyone maximally accountable for what they've done, not just legally, but what they've done morally to this country, for how they fractured us. And I don't think that we can move on from this era until they do. I'm not looking for another Nixon pardon, walk away, pretend it never happened. Fuck that. Absolutely not.
So, question from the chats: are you going to push marijuana taxation to go into Medicaid funds for the state of Virginia?
So I've been asked this question before. As I understand it, federally, we don't touch that. That's a state GA issue. Yeah, I would absolutely want any tax revenue to be supporting healthcare in Virginia too, because that is what's going to be hit the hardest. So I would not have voting authority over something like that, but I would have like narrative authority to put my thumb on the scale and pressure the General Assembly to do what's right with the new taxes generated from the legal cannabis market. And I am in favor of doing that.
Yeah, it's such a mess, the whole cannabis federal law system with things like a good friend of the show, Doc, is he's former ranger, a very knowledgeable dude on all things firearms, and he owns a company, Outside the Wire Tactical, that does training, sells firearms, equipment, etc. in Pennsylvania and to states around. And a friend of mine had a question of if she had a marijuana card, could she own a firearm? And it took like all of his knowledge and 2 calls with the ATF to get a damn answer conclusively from people, because even they were unclear under what it would be within PA laws and stuff. It's such a mess, and so many people run afoul of it through no intentional fault of their own, but it's just so convoluted.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, I've been trying to like build bench with all of the candidates at the state races and the local races, county races, et cetera. And this is the one complaint that you hear from voters at every single level, and the federal elections and the local elections too. It's just complicated. Like if you have a small business, it is a mess trying to figure out how to navigate the system. If you want to exercise Second Amendment and buy a weapon, even legally, even within all the boundaries, yeah, it's a mess. If you want to get healthcare and you're like a low income person, the systems that are available, and there are systems, are super inefficient and wasteful in and of themselves. This is the kind of thing that like a government efficiency office, if not run by absolute morons and lunatics, could have actually done something. They could have made people's lives better rather than just be punitive, cruel assholes, but that's what they chose to do. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with it. Yeah. So I saw another question in there about like the small farmer licensing. I don't know. I'm not up exactly on the legislation. I'm sorry that I'm not. I don't know exactly what the nuances are within those. If you have resources for those that you want me to read up on, send them to the campaign and I will get back to you like personally to do it. I want to get that right. And I'm really pissed that Spamberger screwed up the legal cannabis market vote initially with that veto, because I think it set us back. From the federal side, I am 100% trying to use all of the revenue from new markets created through like catching up to where we should have been on drug enforcement a long time ago. I want to make sure that that's done right. So please get in touch with my campaign. And I'm sorry that I don't have the depth on that specific aspect of legislation.
It's fair enough. As we said, it's a absolute legal minefield. So no fault there not being completely up on it.
Yeah. All right, boys, I think I do got to go after this one. I'm sorry, I'm about an hour 15, but I really appreciate you all talking to me. Big Sarge, thanks for coming through on this.
We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you for giving us your time. I know you're super busy and super popular, so I appreciate that you took time to hit us up for a little bit.
Whenever you guys want. This was actually a really nice chat, and it's refreshing to know that people are like engaged in casting a critical eye on what's going on politically in these congressional races. I think a lot of people still need to wake up. So thank you both.
Absolutely.
Well, could you sweet talk Adam Kinzinger maybe coming on for a little bit?
Got you, bro. Got you. We're friends now. It's cool. We're friends. It's fine. I'm not freaking out about it. I'm gonna play my band's demo for Adam Kinzinger.
Hey, you know what? I will play it as the intro to our live stream.
Yes.
Oh no! Don't do that to the audience. All right, guys. So sign off. My name is Adam Dunigan. I'm running in Virginia's 8th, Arlington, Alexandria, and Falls Church, and parts of Fairfax in Northern Virginia. If you like what I'm saying or don't hate me anyway, go check out my website. Even if you don't live here, like get excited, check in. If you want to volunteer, we have a whole like national digital team. I can hook you up with some really cool people that like care about their country and are trying to do something right by it. And I think that aspect of community is pretty important right now. So please check our stuff out. Anything that comes across the socials, I see. Any email that comes into the campaign, I see, or people alert me about it. So please, please, please don't give up on your country. Don't give up hope. there is a way out of the darkness. It just starts with finding people that are talking like this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us your time tonight.
I appreciate it, boys. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
You too. Thank you. Was I right? Dude's fucking fine as hell.
I can't argue. Can't argue.
Yeah.
That was great though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really. I had no idea that he had Randy Blythe from Lamb of God staying in his house.
Cool.
I know, right? Yeah. How do you even top that? Like, just okay, that's our stream.
I don't even know. What are we even doing here?
Yeah.
We can yell at Eljo in the comments. Talk to her about fever.
So if you are watching right now, what you can do is you can upvote the stream, or on Facebook, give it a like or a heart or whatever.
Really?
Post a comment. Just let us know you're watching. The comments help us boost the algorithm. When the stream ends, it'll be available for you to go look at. And so just leave a comment there as well. Share it. Subscribe to the, whatever, Facebook, YouTube, I don't know. And then we'll have more content. We have one more live stream this week. Tomorrow, it is not actually a political candidate. It is going to be a certified nutritional coach and personal trainer by the name of Erica. She does not like to be called Mrs. Big Sarge or Mrs. Advent Tim. So
This is Big
she has her
Sarge.
own name, her own agency. So we're going to have a Fitness Friday tomorrow as a way to kind of decompress, because we have literally had live streams every single night, every single weeknight for the month of July. And we have another full week next week as well. So if you liked our Second Amendment Saturday, we're going to bring that back as well. In the meantime, tomorrow,
we get Doc back
same
on?
bad time, same bad channel. Yeah, he is apparently always down to do the stream. So
Yes.
I'm going to coordinate with him and Santana, and we'll see how that goes, and get up another another Second Amendment Saturday, Second Amendment Sunday. I don't know. So it's not all politics, but who gives a shit? Because it's the same, like 50 people tuning in every single time anyway. So we've actually been shit on for bringing you guys political candidates. We've had a number of shitty comments on YouTube and Facebook and Blue Sky being like, why are you promoting candidates? These fucking the same old institutional shit. It's like, do you fucking hear yourself? Like, we're bringing you non-establishment candidates. The guy last night.
The same exact people who will bitch about who's on the ballot, who won't research who's in a primary or vote in one, but are upset about the candidate in November. Like, all right.
The left will eat its own, and nobody hates the left more than the left. So
we got to get a T-shirt for that.
We do, yeah. All right. That's going to be our time for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. I just dated myself with that reference from Batman. So
very old. Very, very
y'all
old.
Stay safe. Be frosty. Be safe. Stay frosty. I don't fucking know. Tomorrow night, Fitness Friday. Be here. Ask all your questions for nutrition and fitness, and we'll get those answered for you. In the meantime, fuck fascism. That's our time for tonight. Thank you, Matt, for guesting, and 2 claps and a brisket and titties.
Woo! Calling that a brisket and titties now?
I don't know
That was throwing me off.